Imagine this, you're deep, deep in a jungle so huge it feels like it goes on forever. Suddenly, a strange sound breaks the quiet. Thump, thump, thump. It's the sound of heavy boots. And then, clang, the sound of something hard and metal. Uh-oh, strangers have arrived in the forest, and they're carrying these big, sharp axes.
So, the first man raises his axe high in the air, ready to chop down a huge tree. But wait, just then, a tiny figure steps out from behind a giant leaf. She's not big, she's definitely not scary. It's just a girl, standing there all by herself, facing these huge men.
And get this, she doesn't have a shield or a sword. She doesn't even have a little stick to defend herself. Seriously, how is she going to stop them?
So what's her secret? How did she do it? Well, to figure that out, we need to go back a little bit and see where she came from. Let's take a trip to her home, which is basically a real-life forest wonderland. All right, so our adventure takes us all the way to Brazil to a little village right on the edge of the gigantic Amazon rainforest. And this is where we meet our hero, a girl named Lena. Now for Lena, this forest wasn't just, a bunch of trees. Oh no, it was her best friend. She could understand what the birds were singing about. She knew the special smell of every single flower. And her feet? Well, they knew all the secret, super twisty-turny paths that were hidden from everyone else. So Lena's world was usually so peaceful, just filled with happy jungle sounds. But then, one morning, everything changed. A new sound showed up, and it was a really scary sound.
Chop, chop, chop. Can you hear that? That awful noise echoed everywhere, scaring all the birds away and making the monkeys run and hide. Yep, the men with the axes were back, and their plan? To cut down all the giant old trees, just to sell the wood. Lena heard it, and she ran as fast as her legs could carry her. She stood right in front of the biggest, oldest tree she knew. She begged them, please, please stop. But you know what? The men just laughed. They looked down at this little girl, then at their giant axes, and said something like, how can a tiny thing like you stop us? Wow, they really had no idea what she was capable of.
Okay, so Lena didn't have big muscles, and she sure didn't have a sharp axe, but she had something way, way stronger. It was like a secret superpower you can't even see, her super smart brain. And right then, it gave her an absolutely brilliant idea.
So instead of trying to fight them, Lena just smiled and said, hey, this forest can be pretty tricky. Why don't you let me show you where the really good trees are? The men thought, sure, why not? And they followed her. But here's the clever part. She didn't take them on the easy paths. Nope. She led them on the windiest, most confusing paths she knew, going deeper and deeper and deeper into the jungle. Until, guess what? The sun started to go down and those men were completely, totally lost.
And just like that, everything changed. Those men who felt so big and strong a minute ago, yeah, now they were the ones feeling small and scared. It just goes to show you, sometimes the quietest voice ends up being the most powerful one.
So as it got darker and darker, the jungle started making all these spooky sounds, weird hoots, little growls, and things rustling in the bushes. The men were so scared they all huddled together. Their big axes weren't going to help them now. And guess who they started begging for help? Yep, Lena, the same girl they had just laughed at. Lena could see how scared they were, so she made them a deal. She looked right at them and said, okay, I will lead you all safely out of here, but you have to make me a promise first. You have to promise you will never, ever come back here to hurt my forest. And oh my gosh, those men couldn't say yes fast enough. They were all shouting, yes, we promise, we promise. So Lena kept her word and led them out of the forest. And true to their promise, they never came back. The forest was safe, all thanks to one super brave and super clever girl.
What an amazing story, right? It really shows you how special Lena's home is. But here's the thing. Her forest, the Amazon, is a real place. And it's not just important for the people and animals who live there. It's actually important for all of us, no matter where you live. You want to know why? Okay, look at this number, 20%. What in the world does that mean? Well, that is how much of the oxygen on our entire planet comes from the Amazon rainforest. The air that we all need to breathe to live. To put it another way, if you take 5 big breaths, one of those breaths came from this amazing forest. It's like the green, beating heart of our whole world.
So, what's the big lesson we can learn from our amazing hero, Lena? It's actually pretty simple, but it's so important. It's this: you do not have to be the biggest or the strongest to make a huge difference. Protecting our wonderful planet all starts with making brave choices, just like Lena did.
Okay, now it's your turn to be a hero, just like Lena. Don't worry, you don't have to go face any men with axes, but just think for a second. What's one brave thing, even a small thing, that you could do to help protect nature right where you live? It could be something like planting a flower, or maybe picking up some trash you see at the park.
So what do you think? Do you agree with Lena that forests are super precious and we need to protect them? If you do, show us. Go down to the comments and post a tree emoji. Let's see if we can fill the whole comment section with a giant emoji forest.
All right, think you were paying close attention? Time for a super quick quiz to test your memory. Ready? Okay, question 1. What were the men using to try and cut down the trees? That's it. They were using axes. Perfect. Okay, question 2. How did Lena use her smarts to save the forest? You got it! She got them lost on purpose. Awesome job. You're officially a forest expert.
You know, there are amazing heroes just like Lena all over the world with so many cool stories. If you want to come with us and discover more of them, all you have to do is subscribe so you don't miss out on our very next adventure together.